Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, so let's get right to it. Part 4. I won't show you my favorite new tree for a third time, but man, that thing is looking awesome. So, better every day. And you know, Carl, got the paddle boards out. I got to get them loaded up because we are definitely going to be hitting the pond today. It's going to be like 95. So, if you missed the first video on this, I took some trees from the no-dig tree farm that I have. So I have them all planted in these big sandbags, Marine Corps style. And that's just in case I'm freaking going to kill this bird. I have 375 that survived out of initial 500. So this is their third growing season, I believe. And I didn't want to put them in the ground, so I figured that would be the best way to not have to do them all in pots. So that's why I did it like that. So anyways, you could see a lot of nice healthy growth. A lot of them look straggly and didn't have much growth the first year. Second year, a lot like didn't make it through the winter, something like that, around that timeline. And then, this year, just so many more buds and like bushy, I guess I would say, nice and full. So they'll get some attention probably going into next season, but I haven't really pruned any of them at all. So this is what I use for weed barrier. So I save all my boxes, and you see I have to do my blueberries. So looks like we're gonna have a lot of those, which is cool. And so I'll lay down cardboard and then top dress again with the wood chips. That's why I have 50 yards of them on standby. I'll use those over the next couple of years. This one doesn't have much flowering, but this one's different than the outside too. So maybe it didn't like the cold weather this year and I won't get any blueberries, but we'll see. Those are in raised tubs. I have everything just in case I need to sell it, want to sell it. I put very little into the ground. So going down, there's like 50 of them in here, of those white spruce, Picea glaucas. They're all looking healthy. Some volunteers over the last couple of years. Some oak trees. Nice maple. I love that. Just having open beds like this, you get like free trees. Hey, Carl. You want to just shut up for like 5 minutes? The wildflowers are coming up. I like that as like a little guard, extra guard, because the predator activity is a little bit more active in the spring and summer. So this is the raised tree bed I made out of like 5 times over recycled pallets. So it looks a mess, but it's serving its purpose, and it's layered with topsoil and peat moss and old wood chips. Just anything I had, I just layered it in there. So I had put some of the suburban dories in here, Yamadoris. I think this is a verbena, so that obviously survived. We got a maple there. Looks like a different type of maple there. I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, that's the one I had no clue what it was going to be. I thought it might have been a birch, and then I'm like, I don't know what it is, and I still don't. It's got a cool leaf, and it's alive, so whatever. This is for Cynthia with the yellow flowers that gets popping, so that one as well. It's a nice thick one that survives. And then another verbena, it looks like, and that one's cool. So, some thicker, more established trees, seeing how I went from seed for the most part for the past 4 years. So most of mine are still way smaller than what I just showed you. All right, moving over to what I would call like the potting station. So use this old table of ours for repots, or I don't know, whatever. I have my largest trident maple down here. I had showed off all my trident maples that have been pruned for bonsai. This is the only one out of the initial 25 that I never pruned. So, you know, it might have had a branch nipped here or there, but definitely nothing to speak of. So this is how tall it's gotten in 3 years from a 1-year bare root, just in case you're curious if you're looking to get one for yourself. All right, I'm gonna clean the lens real quick. I think because it's so humid, it's even worse focused than normal. Okay. And here we have, I think it's a Macoun apple. And I pruned these back hard this year and gave them a repot because they were giving me very little fruit, very little flowering, very little growth the past 2 years. And I just didn't get around to the repot. So read about it, did a nice like 8-inch layer of decomposing bark mulch on the bottom, and then kind of kept the root ball intact and just opened it up a little bit and gave it a hard prune back, and it looks like it responded well. And over here, I can't remember what type of apple this was, but it doesn't matter. You need like 2 different species, I think. That's what's recommended, so that's what I did. You know, I leave them garden tree height, like 4 or 5 feet. And getting some nice trunks. So, and then over here, I think this is a fail so far. I threw a bunch of Russian olives and red maples and some white fringe flowering seeds in here. I think maybe I have a couple volunteer trees. These, I believe, would be birches. That's what they look like when they pop. They don't have the serrated leaf on their initial seedling. But other than that, fail. And this will be Monday, Tuesday's project. So I've got the 3 raised beds here. Over there's garlic, and I'll do some winter squash. And then in here, probably see the strawberry leaves amongst the weeds. I'll be getting to all of them. It's a strawberry patch, and then raspberry and blackberry patch. And then over there, we'll do more winter squash. I couldn't find any pumpkins, but I could always plant those a little later in the season. Now, and then tomatoes will go in these food grade buckets. I found it really does well for moisture control with them because they're just a little bit more fussy than, like, say, squash, pumpkin. Those ground crawlers are pretty, once they get established, they're pretty low maintenance. That's why I like them, because their fruit lasts throughout the winter. I'm going to go around and we'll take a look at the remaining 300 trees or so. We'll get the shot from here. You see just like 6 across, all the way down. So right here. I could just tell by all the greenery that this is going to be the best growing season yet. And no, I'm not going to touch them or prune them up for bonsai. Maybe those 7 in that tub, but other than that, I'm just letting these grow because you never know. I certainly right now in my life don't need this many bonsai, but who knows what the future holds, say 15, 20 years down the road. But I do know that if I wanted to sell all these, I could call a nursery and get way more than I paid for them after, taking care of them for 3 years and their root system's healthy, yada, yada, yada. So that's why I'm not messing with them for bonsai yet. So I don't think that it'll do any permanent damage where, pruning them early on would give you any more benefits. Maybe less scars, but whatever. So yeah, plan for a plan. Lots of trees. I have the Forsythia, Rose of Sharon, and what else did I do? Fraser fir cuttings down in the basement. Some may have survived, maybe all. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to get those planted probably right after I do my fruit and veggie garden. So I'll let you know about those, show them off when we do the inside for part 5. Yeah. All right. So I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're in my area, it's going to be a hot one. I'm going to get in the water. It was freezing this past week, but I'm sure it'll feel fine. So y'all have a great weekend. Cheers.